I'd like to call the East China Township Board meeting for September 15th, 2025 to order. Clerk, please call the roll.
Roll call, Supervisor Westrick?
Yeah.
Clerk Smith here, Treasurer Horn?
Here.
Trustee Babel?
Here.
Trustee Bebuk?
Here.
Trustee Klein?
Here.
Trustee Richley absent. Pledge of allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, agenda before you. I entertain a motion to approve the agenda. If there's no questions or comments.
So moved.
Support?
I support. Babel supported.
Oh, okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Minutes, same thing.
So moved.
Pat? Support?
I'll support.
One. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Presentations and guest speakers, we have John Johnson from TPP.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. That's your insurance. It's insurance if you didn't know.
Good evening.
Good evening.
For those of you that don't know me, my name is John Johnson. I am your representative from Acrisure Insurance. We represent the Michigan Township Participating Plan, or the PAR plan, which is the current township's property and liability insurance program. So you've been a member of the PAR plan for a number of years now, and we are coming up on our November 1 renewal date. So I know last year we had come out in the October board meeting. Dwayne had asked that we get out a little bit earlier this year. So I apologize I wasn't able to get everything to you for your packets, but because time was a little bit tight, we were just finalizing a few things at the end of last week. So the packets that I had put together this evening, on the left side of the folder have a few deliverables related to some of the member benefit programs that I know we've discussed over the years, but I just wanted to highlight a few of those before we get into the coverage portion of the document here. So that first deliverable on the left-hand side there is related to the PAR Plan's Risk Reduction Grant, which I know we've talked about in depth in the past. I believe to date the township has received about $25,000 in grant awards, which is great. I think that is broken out about 5 different grants over the years that you've been awarded. The maximum, just a refresher, the maximum that you can receive is up to $5,000. You can be approved for a lower amount depending on what you apply for. And within that document there is some examples, maybe other ideas that the township or the board hasn't thought of in previous years, since you've already gone through some of those ideas as far as security cameras and systems and things like that. You know, obviously the application process you're probably familiar with as well, since you've gone through that quite a few times, but just a refresher on that. The 2 grant cycles that are available are February 1st through March 15th, and then August 1st through September 15th. So we're just wrapping up that fall cycle here. And if you did get an application in this current cycle, generally it takes the PAR Plan Grant Committee a week or 2 to get all of those applications reviewed and send out responses. So I'm not sure the last time you had been awarded a grant. There is a 12-month waiting period. If you had been approved, let's say in the spring cycle, you would have to wait until the following spring. But if not, you would be eligible in the next available cycle. So there are a few maximums on that second page there, again, just specific to Sewer cameras, security cameras, you'll see there's a maximum of $2,500 versus the $5,000 maximum. Sirens, $1,200 maximum, but for the most part, the max amount you can receive is $5,000. There are a few non-funded items listed in there as well, things like Jaws of Life, AEDs, even things like sidewalks are excluded, drones. Right now, that's a kind of an up-and-coming exposure that insurance carriers are having to deal with. So you'll see a list of those non-funded or excluded items. And then the final few pages of this document are related to a separate program, which I think we've discussed in the past as well, but it's the Training and Certification and Accreditation Program that the PAR plan has made some minor changes to over the past few years. So in years past, this, it used to call it their scholarship program, was tied to the grant. So you could apply during those 2 grant cycles, and if you were approved or awarded, that would use up your grant funds. They have since pulled this out into a separate program available year-round in the hopes that kind of improves the applications that we see for this program. And so a wide range of specific state certifications and designations that you'll see on the last page of this document, kind of broken out by department. So there are some administration and zoning related licenses or certifications, some specific to fire and EMS, and then some specific to law enforcement as well. So if you have any new employees or employees that have been around for a number of years and have interest in getting any of these certifications, we would encourage you to look into that. And depending on what you apply for, there's either a 50% or 75% reimbursement there. So just wanted to highlight that. The next deliverable within that packet is just related to the water sensor program, which I believe the township has enrolled in. And for those of you that might not be familiar with this program, the PAR plan has partnered with a company that sells those little, water sensor units that you can place throughout your facilities that are linked to a cellular service, so that if you have a leak, let's say in your boiler room or something along those lines, it will ping a number of cell phones or phone lines and let you know, hey, you have a leak. Maybe let's go turn the water off and hopefully avoid further damage. So just some information on that program. And we've had already a few claims that I think we've avoided this year because of this program. So we're already seeing the benefits of that. The next page in there is what you'll see is HR Muni. And again, I know we've talked about this in the past, but this is the HR portal and service free of charge that is available to PAR plan members as well. So it's kind of an all-encompassing HR service. So many townships, might have not necessarily a designated HR person, but they have someone that deals with HR. This would be an additional resource if there's ever HR type questions or concerns that you're dealing with as a township. If you have hiring or firing questions that you'd like to run by, or again, there's a 24/7 online knowledge center, as they call it, and a wide range of materials available to you, all kind of in that HR realm. And then lastly, the risk control services, which part of the ongoing service within the program is the risk control site visits that they hope to be able to do every 4 or so years. Part of that site visit will be kind of a walk around of some of your facilities to make sure we have the structures and the parks and playgrounds and so on properly valued. But they also might sit down with certain department heads to go through internal policies and procedures and things like that to make sure that everything is up to date, things like employee handbooks and so on and so forth. So I'm not sure the last time Pat had been out to do a site visit, but again, their goal is to come out about every 3 or 4 years They got a little bit behind during the COVID years, but I know they're caught up at this point. So just wanted to highlight that as well. So that just about covers the kind of the member benefits portion of the packet there. And then on the right-hand side, you'll see the township's PAR plan insurance renewal proposal. So we have two proposals on that right-hand side. The first is, again, the PAR plan proposal. The second is that cyber liability policy that we've implemented a few years ago now, specific to those cyber-type claims. But I'll just do a quick overview of the PAR plan renewal, and then if you have any questions, please feel free to interrupt me at any point. So within that proposal, the first few pages are just kind of an overview of what I just discussed. So again, some additional information on the grant, on the risk control services, how to get onto the website and get your login set up and all of that, and our service being your representative for that program. I apologize, we don't have page numbers, but I'll skip to what I'll call the quote portion of the document, which will read Michigan Township Participating Plan, quote date, September 12th, 2025 for East China Charter Township. So no significant changes to the policy document this year. We always start with liability, and you'll see the township's general liability is your premises and operations coverage, same per occurrence limit with no aggregate as previous years. There are a few supplements within that section. Currently, we do have a deductible or an out-of-pocket expense for any general liability lawsuit or claim. The next line, you'll see cyber liability. We do have that listed as no coverage, again, because we have that covered elsewhere. And then you'll see a few different additional exposures that currently the township doesn't carry, things like fireworks liability, liquor liability, special events liability. If there was a need for any of those exposures, we can cover those as on a as-need basis. So next is the wrongful acts liability, which is the board's coverage, again, for the decisions and actions you take and make on behalf of the township. Again, same per occurrence limit as the general liability, again, with no aggregate there. And again, law enforcement liability, not a current need, but if there was, we would be able to implement that. For property coverage, we do insure all township-owned property, so this is all of your buildings and all of your contents on a blanket valuation or on a TIV, total insured value. So at the bottom of that page there, you'll see the total building and contents limit of just about $6.6 million. That does not include vehicles, and that does not include inland marine coverage, which is mobile type equipment. So contents is generally going to be your furnishings, things that aren't coming in and out of your facilities. Anything that is outside or anything that is mobile would be covered in a separate section. On the next page, we have a fairly lengthy list of extensions of the property coverage. And again, all of those extensions would potentially come into play in addition to the blanket limit that you have. So depending on the type of claim or the type of incident, there may be a need for additional coverage. Some examples there would be, valuable papers and records coverage, newly acquired or constructed property. If you acquire a new building or build a new structure and you forget to let us know about those facilities, those have coverage for, I believe, a minimum of 180 days and a wide range of extensions there. And then at the bottom of that page, you'll see the automobile coverage. We'll get to schedules here in a minute, but we have 12 vehicles currently listed on the township schedule. All of our schedules should be up to date. So as we go through those, if you notice anything that still needs to be amended, please let me know. But we did work with Dwayne in making sure we had all of those updates done. And of course, there's always occasionally things that slip through the cracks, but currently 12 vehicles on the schedule. That covers, obviously, township-owned vehicles on a primary basis for the vehicles. That covers all township vehicles on a liability basis whether that's the 12 vehicles or any employee's vehicle as well. So I think I've mentioned this in the past, but if any township employee is using your personal vehicle for township-related driving, this policy and this auto liability policy will defend the employee if you are in an automobile accident where there's a liability situation involved. On the next page, we have inland marine coverage. And again, that's broken down into a pretty extensive schedule, which we'll get to here in a minute. EDP is electronics coverage. So we have a limit there specific to the computers and printers, phones, fax machines, and so on. And then last but not least, we have the crime coverage, which relates to township funds and finances. You'll see different coverages and definitions for things like forgery, alterations, theft, mysterious disappearance. They have somewhat of a blanket bonding limit as well for what they call employee dishonesty. And then in addition to the crime coverage, we do have, I believe, 5 or 6 position bonds related to different board positions that should line up with your elected terms. So if you do have any turnover in any of those positions or any changes throughout the term, you don't need to notify us and update the bond per se. Essentially, whoever the appointed individual is carries the necessary bond. So the next few pages are our actual schedules. So you'll see property schedule, of course, a wide range of facilities that we have insured. A number of these have been slightly increased as far as valuation over the years because the intent is to insure those for today's replacement cost coverage. They're not depreciating any of the facilities or anything like that, and that is the case for contents as well. And then the next 2
We don't have
pages.
to worry about that anyway. Most of them are in China Township. The address, see, China Township. You're not paying attention.
Oh,
again.
are they still listed?
They all say China Township.
Yeah,
A few of them say East China.
Yep, we'll get all of those.
They're not paying attention.
We were, kind of, but we were looking at something else. I'm sorry. Okay, great.
Looking ahead.
Yes.
Continue, Mike, sorry. John.
I'll have those reviewed tomorrow when we're back in the office. Automobile schedule, again, we have the 12 township vehicles listed there. Now, all municipal vehicles are insured under actual cash value basis, meaning they likely will factor in depreciation depending on the age and mileage of the vehicle. We do have the ability to insure emergency vehicles such as fire or EMS vehicles under a agreed valuation clause. But as far as municipal vehicles go, we will insure those under actual cash value. So although we do have the cost new noted there in that automobile section, again, depending on the age of the vehicle, the carrier, if there was a totaled out situation, will factor in kind of the market value at the time of the collision. So just wanted to note that. And then the next few pages, again, a fairly extensive schedule of our inland marine coverage or of our equipment. So everything that is, technically outside of your facilities. Again, we are constantly trying to make sure we have this up to date, but if you have any additions or subtractions that need to be made, we can make those at any point. In addition to the scheduled items, on the next page, within that gray box there, you'll see we do have some blanket miscellaneous property and equipment as well to cover those odds and ends items that aren't specifically scheduled.
Are they still there?
And then the next page is the EDP, which is that electronics coverage that I mentioned. And then that brings us to our premium summary page, which I do have a correction on. And again, I apologize. I had these printed before my numbers for my underwriter were completely finalized. So I do have a correction to make on the premium summary page. The annual premium for the renewal policy term should be $36,304. So approximately $500 different than the initial pricing that we were provided from the carrier. After a little bit of back and forth, we were able to find a little bit of relief there for you.
30,
So.
I'm sorry, 36,304?
Yes, 36,304, correct.
36. Instead of the 36,859?
Yes.
36,304.
I know I've asked this question before, John. I'm curious. I know you have to list everything on here. Is it for liability purposes, but you have a culvert in the woods for $22,000 value.
Would that be on
Are
our?
you gonna replace that when it rots out, or, no, that's maintenance, so what could happen to a
Yes.
culvert in the ground that I gotta pay insurance on?
So wear and tear, per se, would not be an insurable peril. In the case of a culvert,
So if somebody hit it, it's a liability side of it?
that would be probably the, I won't say only scenario where there would be a covered claim there, but probably the most likely scenario to be a covered claim there. Now,
But it's on the schedule of values, I just don't understand.
yeah, so we can go about that in a few different ways. You know, we have the ability to even insure things like paved surfaces and so on and so forth, but oftentimes I recommend we don't do so because there is going to be so many limited covered claims in the event of, you know, a paved surface. I think culvert would probably be similar in that thinking that it would be a stretch for there to be an actual claim where the township could file a claim and have that repaired or replaced if need be. Vehicle collision or some type of.
But they're gonna get covered unless it's uninsured motors, but we got coverage for that too, so.
Yep. So I guess the scenario that would require the township to file that would be if there was some type of hit and run or there was an incident there, but you don't know who the at-fault party is. If we don't know who the at-fault party is that caused the damage, we can't subrogate to their, let's say, auto insurance coverage.
Key words are in the woods, so.
Yeah, and so snowmobile, ATV,
I
again,
don't
it
know.
might be a stretch.
$22,000 is a very expensive culvert.
We can delete that.
It's just an example of some of the things that, I mean, that's not the only one that's on here, but I'm just wondering if it's on here for liability purposes as well, or what, but.
It was probably more, I would assume, a situation that at some point when we were going through the exposure checklist, you know, that was probably one of the items on that checklist, and so it was noted. But we do not have to list everything the township owns. And again, if there's certain items that likely wouldn't have many situations where there would be a covered claim, it might be beneficial for us to kind of take a different look at this schedule and delete a few of those items.
Well, we got more than one culvert, so.
Yep. We do have, you know, again, we do have a total of $1.5 million, give or take, of equipment. So deleting one item here and there might lower the rate a little bit.
Well,
but,
it's just a point I'm trying to get, like, why would that even be on a
yeah,
schedule? But
yep. And I can even go back to see if there was a specific reasoning when it was added. To my knowledge, though, that's been on the schedule for a number of years now, so.
No, I get it, it always was kind of funny. I get the fencing and some of that stuff because someone could go ripping through that and take off and, well, no.
I have a question, Vern. Do we still have the five-tier bleachers?
The bleachers?
Yeah, do we
I
still
believe
have
there's, I
those?
believe there's some bleachers over there, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. We've asked everyone to review this, our DPW and our park staff and everybody to review it for accuracy, so.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a few things we'll have to go over after the meeting to update, because there's a few things that we're noticing just right now.
The question I've got is,
Doesn't need to be here.
you have a stated value and then you have a replacement value, which one is it?
For property or equipment?
Both.
So for property, we insure the structures and contents for replacement cost valuation, meaning today's dollars.
No,
if
for
it were
property.
to be rebuilt, for property and contents. For equipment, if you go to
Inland Marine.
Inland Marine section on the actual quote and not the schedule portion, it should list that under replacement cost valuation as well.
Yeah, it says valuation replacement cost, so.
Yep. Now, we do have the ability to insure inland marine equipment under actual cash value if it were ever requested. But to my knowledge, everything we have listed on the current inland marine schedule is covered under replacement cost valuation as well.
Well, that's the only thought I had in saving some money is an asset that's fully depreciated that we still have, we're carrying that at a replacement cost for insurance value, which is a significant amount of money. That asset's not worth that.
Right.
You know, and I don't want to insure it for, I do if I wreck it, how's that?
Yeah.
But
And
other than that,
If
I'm
there-
only,
Yeah, if there's an intent to replace that with new, then I would recommend that replacement cost valuation.
yeah, or if it can't technically wear out, but lawnmowers wear out, so I don't want to reinsure a 10-year-old lawnmower for a replacement cost for a new one. I mean, that wouldn't make sense, you know, because you would really depreciate it on your end anyway. If you go to replacement value, but depreciation possibly, you'd say, oh, yeah, but you had 1,200 hours on it.
Right. So right now, the only,
So stated value versus, you know, versus the replacement. I
yeah,
don't-
the only items we're depreciating right now are the automobiles. Everything else is cost new or
The other
replacement
equipment,
value.
the vehicles,
Correct.
we should look at that, but,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, and I can note that, you know, whether we want to go line by line within the schedule and figure
Well,
out
it's
what
good
we
if
would
we have a
and
loss,
what
but
I
how
want to
often
do.
do we really have a loss?
Yeah, or I can note that maybe even for next year's renewal, I know we're at renewal right now, but if we want to give some options as far as price reduction
I just
scenarios.
think it's fair to both parties that if we do have a loss, you replace what the fair market value of that piece of equipment is at the time. To me, that makes the most sense and what we should be insuring for.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. What else we got, guys?
Other questions?
Anything else?
That's all
That
for
was a
right now.
long answer to your question. Yeah. Got rid of it. All right, I guess that's it.
Thank you very much. I will get the amended proposal out to you probably tomorrow morning with the corrected premium figure on there.
Okay.
If there are certain changes that we would like to make effective renewal, meaning November 1st, you can submit those to me still at this point. I should be able to get my underwriter to reopen the quote and make those adjustments. Sometimes if we're getting really close to the effective date, they just prefer to submit those via endorsement, but since we're working with a November 1 date, I think we have enough time to make those adjustments. So if you can get with Dwayne and have him get with me, we can add or subtract where need be. So,
Sounds good.
okay, great. Thank you very
We,
much for your time.
Thank you.
We'll need to approve this tonight, right, Dwayne? No?
No.
Okay. But we will eventually, but
The agenda.
we'll definitely take a look at some of the fair market value insurance versus maybe, John, you can tell us kind of what that difference would be if we give you the number.
Yep, yep.
Okay?
Yeah. There's a number of things that we're
All right, Dave?
seeing
Okay, questions?
for after.
For after.
Okay. Anybody else?
Okay.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank
Appreciate it.
you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
the time. Dwayne, you're up. Good news on the water and sewer side.
So in front of you, you should each have 2 packets, each with the Michigan Rural Water Association emblem. The first one will be the sewer rate review. So we've been working with Michigan Rural Water since July on developing sewer and water rates that meet the needs of the township. Mr. Mike Engels from Michigan Rural Water came here on 2 occasions to work on the water and sewer rates respectively. And then from those 2 meetings and the rates that we worked on, I assembled a committee myself, Vern, Sandy, Wally Street, and Pat Ebuck and Corinne that worked on the rates as determined by Mike and myself to develop a strategy for implementation to present to the board so that we can eventually provide a rate schedule and implementation to our customers that you find palatable. And so I'll begin the slides. In the packet is a report, and I'll try to follow the index of that report, so. And my thing isn't working now. That's so funny. Please excuse me.
What if you hit F5?
There we go, thank you. So an introduction, so drink.
What magic button did he hit?
F5 to
I
refresh.
gotta remember that one. Maybe that'll fix all my computer problems.
So our wastewater collection and treatment is an essential public service that protects public health and the environment. This report that we put together assembles East China Township sewer utility data and develops a sustainable user rate structure that equitably recovers total system costs, O&M, and replacement of short-lived assets, capital improvements, administration, and debt service. So the first item that we discussed in the report was our current rate structure. Currently, we bill our customers per unit at 1,000, and consider a unit 1,000 gallons. Residential customers are billed quarterly, commercial customers are billed monthly. We also have a volumetric rate. Of that unit is $9.45 per 1,000 gallons or per unit. And we have a ready-to-serve charge based on meter size in the table that's included in your packet and on the screen. So for a 3/4 inch meter, the ready-to-serve charge currently is $37.43. And if you broke that down for a monthly commercial customer, it's $12.48. The same is for a 1-inch meter size. We currently charge our customers for a 3/4 or 1-inch the same. They're interchangeable. Typically, the minimum size we install is a 1-inch, but there are still 3/4 throughout in our system. But eventually, they'll all be upsized to the 1-inch. For the 1.5 inch, and subsequently they go up according to meter size. And in the next segment, we talk about a new rate structure. We had to do some adjusting on our what we call a REU. It's a residential equivalency unit. So a 3/4 or 1-inch meter allows so much water to go through it over, at a certain pressure. It doesn't equate 1-to-1. So a 2-inch doesn't allow twice as much water. It actually would allow 7.11 times the water to flow through it over that course of time. So that's how we equate charging a higher ready-to-serve. And the ready-to-serve, basically, in simplest terms, our customers pay for the water that we promise to provide them. There used to be something that would have been charged that's illegal now, called the minimum bill. And you would have charged customers based off of volume, indeterminate of whether they use that volume or not. And that's been ruled in court to be a practice that is not allowed. So it's been most standard practice for almost 10 years now for utilities to charge those ready-to-serve rates. The next item that I'll talk to is about our budget summaries. Historical gallons of water that we've treated on the sewer side. So in 2021, we treated about 111,500,000 gallons. In 2024, that number has decreased to almost 83 million. And I did ask you to note in the report, based on that evaluation, that equates to a loss of approximately $300,000 of revenue, just because we're not treating as much water. So if we look at our budget summary, because it's important to understand our budget. Our rates must support the budgets that are approved. So we have an operating expense of $315,000. We have sewer authority charges of $961,000. Capital outlays of $200,000 on average, and we have inspection and infiltration program. So we clean our sewers and line them for about $100,000 a year. So a subtotal of our cash and budget basis, excluding debt, is $1.5 million and some change. We do have incurred debt, and we have a 2022 capital improvement bond. That's a 30-year bond, I apologize. And those annual payments are approximately $130,000 per year. Those costs should typically be allocated to your ready to serve, because those payments will not be a variable rate. You will pay those consistently for 30 years. So you should have those funds incoming secured as well through a ready to serve versus a variable rate. The reason for that is typically when you increase your water rates or sewer rates, you see consumption drop, and then obviously your revenue would meet the need to pay those debts. We also had to consider the available cash. At the time when we started this, those balances in the sewer fund were a total of approximately $725,000. We also look at non-sales revenue. We look at that because those, again, revenue that is typically going to be pretty static. So you shouldn't see a lot of change in your non-sales revenue. One of the main drivers in our sewer non-sales revenue is a DTE St. Clair Power Plant agreement. So right now, as it stands, we receive $641 per day as a system reserve capacity, and that equals approximately $232,000 in 2014 or in 2024. They also pay $1.13 per 1,000 gallons of sewage, or per unit, and that was approximately $13,800 of revenue in 2024. So in 2025, we estimated that revenue to be approximately $246,000. After we looked at the revenues, we started to look at, again, some of our replacement costs. So in annual funding, we want to expense about $50,000 a year and include the cost of living or inflationary numbers to reserve to accumulate our lift station pumps and controls. And those items typically have a 15 to 20 year expected life. Recent and near-term lift station rehabs include Bree Road in 2023, the hospital in 24, Point Drive in 2025, and we have three that will be planned in the near future. The Bell River Lift Station for 2026, Record Road in 2029, and Urban Drive in 2030. So all of those looming replacements are part of this rate schedule. The final rate calculation. So we went from a new charge, $65 ready to serve for a 3/4 or 1 inch sewer line, and a volumetric rate of $11 per 1,000 gallons. And the annual meter equivalent is 8,422. And we base that usage on previous year's average of 82,999,500 gallons. I'm sorry, I just want to look at my slideshow real quick. So here's a comparative bill if you go through the handout that I handed out today. A 3/4 inch meter that would use 3,000 gallons. Their volume charge would be $33. Their base rate charge would be $65. So their total new bill would be $98. An old bill would have been $63.92. So that's an increase of 53.3%. 10,000 gallon use would be an increase of 39%. 15,000 gallon use would be 35%. 20,000 gallon would be 33%, and 25,000 gallons would be about a 31.7%. And then the subsequent increases for the increased meter size and consumption are on the lower portion of the scale. Do you have any questions on the sewer rates? I know there's a lot to digest there.
This is just sewer. This isn't water.
If you have no questions on the sewer rates, we can switch to the water.
I'm just warning you, gang, it's not any better.
So, pretty much the same story with water. The main drivers are going to be the loans that we took out for the SRF projects. So the current rate structure is 3/4 and 1 inch. The ready to serve is $32.74. And subsequent 1.5 inch is $163, 2 inches $261, 3 inches $490, 4 inches $916, 6 inches $2,094, and a 10 inch is $8,378. The new proposed rates will be ready to serve would be around $50 per quarter and $13.96 per 1,000 gallons. A significant increase. I want to get into your history again of gallons of water invoiced over time. In 2021, we sold 107 million gallons of water. In 2024, we sold 82 million gallons of water. So a decrease in consumption that would equal approximately $174,000 in lost revenue. In the budget summary that we used in consideration for these rates, the subtotal of our cash budget, excluding debt, each year is about $1.5 million. Our debt summary, we have a 30-year term SRF project. Those principal and interest payments are $305,000. Allocated for the intents of this study, so I said in the sewer that we were trying to allocate 100% or as much as we could to the ready to serve, so that your guaranteed expenditures are captured by guaranteed revenue. But the committee thought that it might be a better option to spread those costs because it's substantial, a little different proportionately. So they wanted to apply the loan payment, 68% to the ready to serve charges and 32% to the per unit charge. Just wanted to get into We also have non-sales revenues. We have fire hydrant rentals that bring in approximately $105,000. There's meter replacement charges that bring between $45,000 and $55,000 of revenue. So total non-sales and other applied 2026 rate model was $166,000. A portion of that would be credited to Ready to Serve also to lower that rate. The committee also would recommend a one-time $100,000 transfer in from the general fund to help transition the burden of the water fund on the SRF loan a little more gradually, instead of making the ratepayers assume that loan payment all at once. And this initial change would equate to a reduction in Ready to Serve costs of $7.27 per quarter and 41 cents per unit. Again, we also considered equipment replacement programs. So we've added $25,000 a year plus the inflationary rate. This reserve will accumulate to cover the service line replacements as well as other capital items as they need to be replaced throughout our system. We've also added this to a long-term capital improvement plan. Capital projects recently completed have addressed many of the township's concerns, especially the ones that have been completed as part of the SRF loans. But consultants are currently working on a new water reliability study that will provide new insights into the needs of the township and include a new water capital improvement plan so that we can add that to rates as we get the new information as the years proceed. And as part of our final rate analysis, the new rates would that we would institute as per the committee recommendations. And again, not for the board to have action tonight, but we'll work on a plan that you're agreeable to. The initial plan would be for a increase to $75 per quarter with a volume rate of approximately $12.49 per 1,000 gallons. And that's based on again, using some averages based on sales of 83,855,000 gallons. So looking at a typical bill comparison, again with a 3/4 1-inch bill, 3,000 gallons, an old bill would be $58.87. A new bill would be $91.88. That's an increase of 56.1%. 10,000 gallons of usage would be $119.84. A new bill would be $189.61, 58% increase. 15,000 gallons would be almost a 59% increase, and a 20,000 gallon usage would be a 59% increase. So with the 10-year projections, with the calculated rates and planned annual adjustments, combined with the new Ready to Serve and volume revenue, we would grow our reserves from $600,000 in year 1 to approximately $1 million by year 9, before capital expenditures of about $500,000, according to our CIP plan, reduced our reserve by half. So, and that's included in the graphic. Questions? It's a lot, I know it's lots of information, but.
I know.
So the main two, or the biggest driving forces are the reduced usage,
Yep.
correct?
20 million gallons in 5 years.
And all the new infrastructure that was just installed last year over the last, so I mean, those are hitting us the hardest right now, all at once.
Yep. Yeah,
Just to recap.
if I look at the overall impact, I believe that the loan itself adds $23.18 to the ready-to-serve charge and $1.16 per unit. That's just from the loan.
For the water.
Yeah, and then we have to couple that with losing $175,000 in revenue, so that's gonna be, just added on to what we need to make up.
Okay.
And it's same story for both water and sewer.
I would encourage everyone to look this over. If you've got questions, reach out at any time, not just at the next meeting, whatever. We may schedule a work session before the meeting to go over this in much more detail, because you need to understand it. It took us a while, but you need to understand it. It's a real problem. And, people like to say, well, I don't, other municipalities' water rates X. It doesn't matter. This is what it's costing us to produce water and process sewer with our plants. And if you got a great idea of how you can get that done cheaper, let me know. I would love to have that, but this is what it's gonna cost us. We have a minimum staff, we have what it takes. We have modern plants, that's the good news. We've got good infrastructure, but every time you make changes, it costs money. And I can't believe that we've lost 20 million gallons of water revenue and sewer revenue on the other side too, because it's tied to the water meter. So you're 40 million gallons in total. It's like losing taxable value really, and it's the same thing, same impact. So that's a huge, these water saver toilets gotta go. You gotta get rid of them. Flush your toilet more.
One of the main drivers behind the reduced consumption is the power plant, St. Clair power plant phasing out.
Yeah.
So that's a main driver, but people also are using less fixtures, or, conserve water now where they didn't before. I'd be happy to, if anybody has any direct questions or specific questions, I'd be happy to have that conversation. You can call me anytime if you'd like to sit down and go over these spreadsheets. I have a larger screen in my room where we could really drive down, and I can give you specific answers if you have any questions. But if you have any recommendations you'd like to make to the committee, you can email those to me. I'll make sure that we take that into consideration for any action that you may be required to make.
Okay.
Thank you, good information.
Thank you, Dwayne.
Thank you.
Okay. Public comment. Anyone wishing to address the board? Go to the podium and say your piece.
I just said he's first, but if you choose, he's not to, so I'll go. My name is Linda Becker.
Go to the podium.
Pardon?
There's a microphone there, so the audience can hear.
I've been told I have a big mouth. Okay, is this better? Okay. My name's Linda Becker, and I live in Boulder Creek. The reason I'm here tonight is, in May, I lost my husband. And I had Young Funeral Home, do the funeral. And while we were planning it, he had told us that my family, that I had to go to the township to pay for the foundation. But to do that later in the fall, because you only pour in the spring and in the fall. Okay, so I waited, and I waited until August 27th. Now, before I know, your charges were $600 to $800 per foundation. Actually, we're the most expensive in the area. I have quotes from other cemeteries. St. Clair only charges $270. Lakeside only charges $470.40. Woodland was $230 in 2024. But anyways, so I came in to pay for the foundation it's a double one. I'll tell you the size, 48 by 14, 48 inches by 14 inches. Imagine my surprise when I had to pay $1,800, it was $1,885.65 to pour a cement slab to put a stone on. That is 57 to 58% more than it was last year. I guess it was changed, I was told by whoever I talked to in the front here. It was changed, the price was changed in August. I looked online for your budget. Your budget for 2024 was the same for the cemetery as it is in 2025. You did not increase the budget. My question is, why are we so much more expensive, and why did you raise the rates to 57%? That's 2.5 times of what it was before. Now, you realize it's a beautiful cemetery, it's very well taken care of. It really, truly is. But for a little slab of cement this big, you're going to charge over $1,800. I would like to know who decided this, how it was decided, and why. That's my question.
Okay. I don't have an answer for you right now, but I would definitely find out.
Well,
We did get the information from the DPW that
raised the rates,
calculated
but I
the
don't think it was
cost,
that much.
and we
The DB
adopted the new
okay, my question would be this.
costs, actual costs.
Do you have an outside company? Do you have outside company? So it's all done through the township, correct? It's owned by the township. So you're paying employees of the township to do this work. I think that we need money other places. The water is just listening to him with how much more it's going to cost. I think that somebody sat down and said, hey, we can make some extra money. Let's raise the rates in the cemetery. Well, how come it's so expensive?
We've been
How did
running in
they-
the red in the cemetery. It's been subsidized by the general fund for years.
Okay, that's fine.
The
That-
DPW just updated us on the cost of concrete, equipment, man-hours, everything involved. That's why we
The
adopted a new
equipment,
schedule.
the equipment is owned by the township. The man-hours are paid by the township. Everything is paid by the township. It is not anything that's coming from outside. And the cost of cement is not that absorbent. This is a ridiculously high amount. And I'm sure there's going to be many other families when it comes time to bury their loved ones, and they're going to put stones on there, and they're going to have a massive heart attack like I almost had in the front office. There should be, you can't tell me, you're the supervisor, and you can't tell me
We
why.
just raised them, but was it that much?
Yes.
I don't remember.
Would you like
It
to
was
see
substantial,
I
You
know-
wanna
I know
see
it
the
was like
receipt?
$600.
but it was to cover the actual cost that it has been costing the township.
Here's the
All
actual
along.
receipt. Now, I'm just saying, there's the receipt.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't know. I don't have
No, this is a
breakdown.
receipt, this is a receipt I paid in the township office for the foundation, this size foundation. So, that is
It went
too much money.
Substantially.
There's a lot of people,
That's more than we approved in the last
There
meeting.
was a schedule, there was a schedule that was approved based on the sizes
Right.
of
Yes.
each.
one, yes, there is. But
Right.
$1,800, over $1,800, that is 56 to 57% more than it cost before. Over there's not enough money. Now in the cemetery, there's not enough money. I am sure there's going to be some other place that's not enough money. This is absorbent. It really, truly is, and this needs to be reviewed. And I would like the information, as a taxpayer, I would like to know how that decision came about. And who voted on it to say, okay, we're gonna go ahead and double the cost of what it was to bury, put a foundation down to bury someone. A funeral is very expensive to begin with. And then you got all the grief and everything else that goes along with it. And I also noticed, you guys, aren't you putting in new, what are those called, where you put the remains?
Columbariums?
Yeah, you're putting in new ones, aren't you? Yes, that is why you did this, to pay for those.
I believe that to be true.
The federal government
No.
actually paid for those with ARPA funds.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, but this is not right. It truly is not right to the citizens of this township. And I was lucky that I could afford this. There's a lot of people who are not gonna have headstones because they're gonna look at this and say, I can't afford that.
Yeah, let me check into it too. Did you leave your name and number on the
I'll
sign-in
put
sheet?
my phone number on there.
All right.
I mean, if you guys would've went up like $200 or $250,
They presented us with all the costs that were associated with each,
well, if you've had the low
That's why
cost
it
all
was
these years,
adopted.
why did you decide all of a sudden we're in a recession? Everybody's been screaming recession. Everything, the price of goods are going off the roof.
yep.
We're gonna have to pay more money for our water and everything else.
And that's another area that the township has
Yes,
been
I understand.
subsidizing out of the general fund.
I understand
We
that,
pay
but
for
this is
the-
exorbitant.
It
And
is. It seems shocking.
I would like to know why. And I wonder if anybody else in this township knows that this has been done. I'm gonna post, so I'm telling you, I'm gonna post this on East China's Facebook for your information. So people, when they come to lose their loved one and they come to the township to pay their, thing for their foundation, that they don't have a heart attack in the office, because this is ridiculous. And you should have, now, you should have the list, because it is according to size, and I understand that. You should have a list for the public to see. So when they come in, you can say, here you go, this is the rates. So you can see exactly what it is, but we don't. Nope, she just took my thing in the back, came back and said it's $1,800.
There's a schedule.
$1,885.65.
All right, if you left your name and number, let me check into it this week.
All right.
We'll
thank
share
you.
the information with you.
All right, thank you. Any other further public comment? All right, we'll go to consent agenda. C1 is financial reports, C2 is departmental reports, C3 is historical commission meeting minutes for August 2025, C4 is professional development request for the treasurer department, C5 St. Clair Area Fire Authority run report for August 2025, C6 is the Marine Cities report for the same period, and 7 is park commission meeting minutes for July of 2025. Chance to look at that? Motion would be in order.
I make a motion to approve as presented.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Disbursement, Ms. Horn.
Payroll, $84,759.43. Accounts payable, $156,957.64. EFT, $82,019.46. E-checks, $604.60. Tax account, $891,395.07. Invoices, $280,869.18, for a total of $1,496,605.38. I make a motion to approve as presented.
I'll support.
Been moved and supported. Comments, questions? Not clerk, please call the roll.
Roll call, Treasurer Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Babel?
Yes.
Trustee Bebuk?
Yes.
Trustee Klein?
Yes.
Clerk Smith, yes. Supervisor Westrich?
Yes. Old business is Resolution 07-2025 for the Parks and Recreation millage. They give us for $15,000. Held over from the last meeting. We didn't have a resolution for it, right?
Correct. What was approved at the last meeting.
All right, this is just the resolution, so it is in front of you. If not, questions on that, I'd entertain a motion to approve those presented.
Do you want to go ahead and read that so they can understand what we're approving?
Basically, it's a grant application request we do every year to the St. Clair County Parks and Recreation, and they give us the money. It's the portion of the taxes collected millage for the So it's St. Clair County Parks, and they distribute that back to the townships and cities. I think just townships,
Now, this is
actually.
an additional grant that they're providing, so we're applying for the grant.
This is different?
So
Yep.
matching grant. We're spending 15, they're spending 15.
Oh, okay, what do we, sorry,
Upgrades for River Park.
this is for the river park then. I didn't know we had that.
Yep.
Well, there you go, put that on the plus side, Corinne. That's a matching grant for the river park then, is that what you're telling me?
Right.
Okay, it doesn't say that here.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Support.
Okay. Moved and supported.
Support.
Yep,
Roll call.
yep.
Treasurer Horn.
Yes.
Trustee Babel.
Yes.
Trustee Bebuk.
Yes.
Trustee Klein.
Yeah.
Clerk Smith, yes. Supervisor Westrick.
Yes, welcome to tonight, I guess, I don't know where I was thinking. New business 1. This is the MTPP renewal application. It's Mr. Loper, is that what you're looking for?
I'm sorry.
I have nothing in here.
I don't either, actually.
That should, I'm sorry, I didn't put that together. That should be,
Went from
Well-
old business 1 to new business 2.
Well, that's what I thought, that's why I asked earlier, are we approving this tonight as new business?
no, I would not. I would take your input and any changes you'd like to see to that policy or adjustments, and that would be a new business action item.
Yeah, new business 1 is postponed until we get the corrected information back. It'll probably not be at the next meeting, will it?
Could be. We have till November, so it could be as late as the second October meeting.
Okay, well, let's
That's
postpone
not
it
the
to
road funding?
Pardon me?
That's not the road funding?
No, this is
Okay.
insurance. The number,
MTPP?
yeah, we'll postpone it till the next meeting. If we don't have it ready, we'll do it again.
Yeah,
Okay?
it is
All right.
listed as correctly.
Right.
That's what I
So
was
we're
getting
going
at
to
earlier, that it's on the
Table it
agenda.
or,
New business 2.
we should make a motion to table it or postpone it, however your
Okay, we
wording
don't
is.
have to though, but
Well, it's on the
I
agenda,
move to postpone this till the next meeting.
since we just received the information tonight.
Yeah.
And there'll be changes. I'll make a motion,
I'll support it.
All in favor, say aye.
table.
Aye.
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 Opposed? New business 2, historical commission appointment. Mr. George Hopp has volunteered graciously to serve on the historical commission for a 3-year term, beginning 9/15/25, ending 9/15/2028. Make a motion, we approve Mr. Hopp.
I support.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Wonderful.
Sandy, park employee. The manager wants to take the employee number there from 15 to, it'll be $17, because that's the total threshold that we have established right now. It's a little outdated, but we gotta stay within the confines of what we have approved right now.
So this is wrong.
So it'll be 17, okay? So that's not, still not a lot of money for working anymore today. So,
Do you need a motion?
yep,
I'll make that a motion to increase the employee wage to $17 per hour based on the wage schedule that was adopted
May of 24.
May of '24.
Okay. Is there support?
I'll support.
Supported. Clerk, please call.
Roll call vote. Treasurer Horn?
No.
Trustee Babel?
Yes.
Trustee Bebuk?
Yes.
Trustee Klein?
Yeah.
Clerk Smith, yes. Supervisor Westrick?
Yes. Okay, new business 4 is a resolution that I do every year. Sandy does the resolution, I do the schedule for it, but local road funding assistance program, for instance, this year, we're still waiting for the plans and specs to be done and bid out, but it's the Recore Road sewer down the road that needs to be fixed. For next year, we're proposing Park Road.
Here, right here.
Oh, is it in there? Good.
Yep.
Yeah, Vista Bell Court, we want to mill and repave. Park Road, same thing over here. And the Recore and Point Drive intersection is a mess after the last water project, so I want them to mill and fix that. And then I have Urban Drive down here for a mill and overlay. We're trying to get them to repave a different section of road that technically they aren't called certified, but anyway, for today's purposes, it's that. It's trading projects is all in the end, but the good news on this one, folks, is every year that we do this, the road commission pays up to $100,000 and we have to match that, and it's been $100 since I've taken over. Next year, they told us they're gonna pay it all. They got some money they found, and it was talked about with big beautiful bill or whatever, but anyway, long and short, they want to try to fund that for us, all the townships for next year, so we're gonna approve this resolution, but it's not gonna cost us anything next year for the paving program, because I had the estimate pretty close to $200,000. So, anyway,
Excellent.
good news. So we just still have to pass a resolution and get this application over to the road commission. Resolution 8-2025. Same thing as we did last year, but that's the paving program schedule, and good news is we don't have to come up with $100,000 next year for that, and we need that. So, I make a motion we approve resolution 8-2025 for the local road funding assistance program.
Support.
Any other comments or questions, you guys?
No.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Thanks. That is it. Unless anybody has any comments or questions on regular business, let's go ahead and go into closed session if there's no more comments. Well, I need a motion for closed session.
I'll make a motion, we enter closed session at 8:11 PM.
And purposes for attorney-client privilege / personnel. Is there support?
Support.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thanks. When we get done with closed session, we just come back in and adjourn. Let me know when you're ready. Good? All right, motion's been made, supported to go back into open session and voted. The last order of business, I think, is we want to try to, I think we should set a work session to go over these nice numbers that we were just presented. So let's do 5 o'clock before the next regular board meeting that we
Before
have.
the next board meeting?
Yeah, and then we'll have a couple hours to really dive into this. And again, work sessions are open meetings. I encourage anyone from the audience that wants to show up to please come in. Any residents that are out there, if you want to come see this, please come. It'll be a real in-depth look into this and where this is all coming from, and we'll try to figure out how we arrived and what we can do. And that's going to be for October 6th, is that correct? Mm-hmm. Okay. So 5 o'clock work session, it is an open meeting, and then 7 will be our regular meeting, okay? Mm-hmm. We don't need that voted on or anything.
You sure you want 5 o'clock?
We need some time, honey.
Mm-hmm.
2 hours?
We need some time.
Okay.
So, we good? Anything else? If not, Mr. Klein?
I'm all set.
No, you need
Well, I
a,
make a motion, we adjourn this meeting.
there you go.
Oh, wait. No, are you gonna do member comments down the
Comments or
line?
anything?
Yeah, I guess we better do
We
that.
have things.
There's no support, so your motion fails, Jim.
Hey, hold on there, hold on.
I'm done with my motions.
Vern's jumping the gun here.
Go ahead.
Nothing.
Just a little something about the cemetery. I'm on the advisory committee, and we have been trying to get the funds and different things because we are trying to plan for columbariums because the rate of cremations is going up significantly. They said it's going to be going up to, 82% by the year 2041. And we need to act accordingly and plan accordingly for that. We kind of want to make a scatter garden, a butterfly garden. We do want to do some different landscaping and just kind of spruce it up around there because everything has gotten overgrown. It's and it's gonna take funds, so I don't know where we go from that, planning it, if anybody has any ideas. I know Sandy and Pat have suggested, you know, going in and doing some things, but, I'd appreciate any update on that and any help we can get on that too. But, it should go through the advisory, you know, committee also before we set that up, so.
So I was out there and saw the situation, and I came into the last staff meeting and asked Fern if there was any funds available this year or next year, we could set something aside to clean it up. Just outside the main doors of the chapel, they just trimmed all the trees up and everything, but it's very weedy and it's overgrown and it looks messy. It's not.
Yeah.
So I invited the cemetery advisory committee to come and visit. Pat was there and we kind of walked through everything. And what they were learning at their conference was to, what we would recommend now is we have a master plan done of the cemetery, like designing for this future, adding on to the columbarium units, like the sidewalk, drawing, maybe a landscape plan by, you know, to redo this front entrance at the building. And then maybe a 5-year plan, do a little bit each year, whatever, forecasting what improvement, how they want to develop that part of the cemetery. It's not something we've ever, I think the last time we really looked at anything there, changing anything, was when we built the chapel. There've been a few improvements inside, but we're talking years and years. So whether we need to establish, maybe after we get a plan, maybe from a landscaper, or take bids on re-landscaping that part of it to clean it up, and work into a plan for the future development there. That's what
We look forward to seeing that.
looking to,
Okay.
where we're looking to go, before we spend any money
Yes.
at this point.
Okay.
Let's get a plan.
Anything else? Definitely good. Yeah.
Just that, in your packet as a FYI were the garbage rates, because we'll be looking at those coming up. I think Alan had requested those, so we found this sheet
Yeah,
and
this is the extension
wanted
for
to share
where we are, and it'll end mid next 20.
everywhere,
20
right. So that's where we're at with that.
And we're gonna start working to pull some bids real soon here.
Good.
I
Anything?
don't have anything.
Jim?
No,
Now I'm ready for you.
I make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
It's been moved. Is there support?
Support.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, see you at the next one, 5 PM.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I don't want to go home.